So Nintendo had a really weird announcement today, which I feel like is at least once a week. They do weird things all the time. But recently, they announced that they're going to have variable pricing for their games, which is something they've said a lot, but this time there's going to be a huge difference. Now, physical games will cost more than digital games, which makes sense. Physical games cost a lot to produce. Not only do you have to make the cartridge itself, you also have to ship out to retailers, and retailers also take a cut of the profits. So it makes sense why physical would theoretically cost more. I can't think of any other console that's done this before, but what I can think of is indie games. Indie games usually cost more physically than digital game. Just for example, Hades 2 costs $50 physically but $30 digitally. This is a pretty common thing. Another reason why I might charge more for physical games, especially now, because the price to produce a Switch 2 cart is really high. I made a video about this recently during my game keycard video, where I talked about how game cards cost like $18 for a true physical game card. That's a lot of money. And judging by how the Switch 2 is doing right now in America, I can see why there'd be a lot of Switch 2 games that aren't being sold and Nintendo's losing money on them. Which could also explain why Pokepia was a game key card, because they didn't want to lose more money on it. But after seeing the complaints about it, they might have decided that now is the time to charge more for physical games. That's my theory at least. Now, the first game they're doing this with is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which is probably the worst game to start this trend with, because I don't know if we have a price increase here or a price drop. So Yoshi digitally is going to be $60, well physically it'll be $70. Now, for traditional Switch 2 games, the price across the board's been $70, with a few $80 games here and there. Now, with this new pricing comes the question, is Yoshi a budget game, or is Yoshi meant to be a full price game? If it's meant to be a full price game, that means across the board, Switch 2 games will cost like $60 now, which is great to hear about. I would love to hear that Switch 2 game prices are dropping. They're probably the most ridiculous prices on the console right now. I think the Switch 2 console itself is fairly priced enough. I don't think $450 is outrageous. But the game prices, I mean, $70 for Mario Tennis? Really? So if every game is now $60 from now on, that is great. Of course, there'll still be some $70 titles, because I'm sure Mario Kart World in this case, if it released right now, would be a $70 title. So that means it'd be $80 physically still. But I'd be way more okay with that than it being $80 normally. But we also have to consider the other reality. What if Yoshi's meant to be a budget game? And that means full price games from the studio now are $70 digital and $80 physical, with it sometimes being $80 digital and $90 physical. That is a lot of money. I don't want to spend $90 on any game. I don't think that's a hot take. I really hope that's not the reality we're in, because I feel like that would just kill physical gaming. I'm more worried about how the consumer's going to treat physical gaming now. I think it's clear that physical gaming's going out the door, and this is just more evidence to support that. But if some physical games are going to be $90 now, that is extremely alarming. And I think that might be the reality we live in, because it makes a lot of sense, sadly. Switch 2 editions are a good example of this. Switch 2 editions take a $60 game and add $20 DLC to it, so therefore they're $80. They're overpriced, yes, but that's just how it is. I don't see them dropping the price of those at all, but I do see them saying those games are now $90 physical, which is really, really stupid. I don't want to spend $90 on Mario Party Switch 2 edition. I'm sorry, that's just not what I'm gonna do. Hopefully Nintendo realizes that no one's gonna pay $90 for Mario Party and they don't do this, but knowing Nintendo, this is probably the method they're going with, which sucks. But at least we can hope it's a price drop overall, because it'd be nice not to spend $80 on a new Mario game, I'm just saying.